This video is going to be a removal of the hook. Voila, it's gone. But the next movie, I'll put it back in. Enjoy. This could also apply to a 403, 404, 500, 503, 411, 414. Pretty much the whole gamut of 400 and 500 series Singer sewing machines. And I started out already by following the instructions from the Model 500 adjuster's manual, and in there it advises, and I've already done what it advised. The first thing was it says to remove the needle, the presser foot, the throat plate, the bed slide, the bobbin case, and feed dog. And that's all been done. Following along with the instructions, and I did actually play with this. I played with this for a couple hours the other night, and I took everything out and put it back in. I took this apart and cleaned it quite well, so it is clean. I also cleaned the throat plate adjusting lever, throat plate adjusting pins. They still could use some more work. I didn't take the springs right out. I didn't take the bottom off and do that, but nonetheless, everything's been ready for me to remove the hook and the hook gear at the bottom of the hook gear shaft, and that's underneath where it meshes with the hook driving shaft coming from the hand wheel end. So that's where we're starting. So I need to remove this cushioning spring, and the way to do that is just to raise it and then to pull it out, because it's a little bit finicky to get the bobbin case in and out and moving the cushioning spring and getting it all to interact correctly. So to remove the bobbin case, the cushioning spring has to be pushed over to the right. So you just raise it slightly so that this little surface here clears the top of that screw. So all I do is I take a little probe, a little screwdriver, and there I've pushed it out of the way, and now the bobbin case can come out. I see there's a little bit of thread on the bobbin case there. Oh well, not to worry, I'll get it later. But it's in with the spring, the screw. But anyway, so there it's removed. Now to remove this cushioning spring entirely, you keep it pulled up, raised, and then you pull it right out. And now, since everything else has already been done, I'm going to move it back, lean it back, and we'll take a look at the gears that we're going to unmesh. Here is the hook stud coming down, the hook shaft, the hook stud coming down from the hook up there, up top. So that's, and you notice that hook stud, there's a flat spot right there. And there's only one screw, set screw on this hook gear, and that's the screw right there, and it sits on that flat spot. The other screw on the opposing gear is right there. So they're both, when you look at them, they're both equilateral. What I want to do is I want to be able to undo that screw and then release that stud. Now, in addition to releasing that stud, I'm also going to have to eventually release this stud, which is the positioning pin stud, shaft, post. And there is a screw for that right back there that we can't see right now. And we're not going to worry about that in step one. In step one, I'm going to get to mark these gears, mesh them, so that when it comes time to put the gears back together, they are meshed correctly. These are meshed at the factory of manufacture, and these are run for whatever, hundreds or thousands of hours, and if you mismatch this gear to that one or any other, it will run noisy and rough. It may not function well at all. It may be a useless machine. I don't know what the ramifications are. I've never experienced any of this.
But I know the mesh is important, and I do have previous experience. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some nail polish on that one right there and right there. Oh, actually it'll be that point there, and that point there. Let me turn that just a little. And let me get my screwdriver and make sure I get a good seat. Yes, I have a good bite on that slot head. So I think this will be a good mesh. And I have used nail polish before, and it's very resilient. But anyway, so that's my plan. So I'm going to put a little bit of nail polish right there first of all. I just want to lower this light a little, so right there. And I'm concentrating, focusing on the single, not the double pin, the single tooth, not the double tooth. Let me see that. I want to make sure that that makes sense. It does. I'll be able to match those up perfectly. And this is a long-handled screwdriver and it has a fair bit of torque. And it's turning, it's snapped. It's undoing. Wow, look at the dirt coming off the head of that screwdriver, blade of that screwdriver. I'm really enjoying this. I wonder if there's enough for me just to take. I think I still have to release it a little. And I will, just to make sure that it's there. I would venture to think that that is clear now of the post. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take these needle nose pliers. The head protrudes like a 32nd or a 16th of an inch or a 32nd of an inch, like a fingernail thickness. So I'm going to put the needle nose pliers there like that, and then I'm going to take these pliers and whack it. So let me undo that other screw. So this is the second screw. You have to make sure, because when you look through this access hole, you see two screws. You see one up here, there, and that's not the one we want. And do not undo that screw ever, because that's the one that locks the bushing that the hook shaft slides into. And that's factory set. And the factory doesn't exist anymore. So if it gets tampered with, there's no factory to reset it. It's done. Anyway, but that one there, and the way you can check is with this one here, if you look at the end of the sewing machine, and there is the post from that bottom screw. There's the screw on the outside there, which we'll be at in a second, and there it's post. If you go to the wrong one, the screw is up there, and it goes down into, well, the gear or the gear shaft area, so it's obvious, but, so have an eye. Okay, so there's that screw there, and I did just loosen it, so now I'm just undoing it. And it was easy to undo. There wasn't like a great big crack like there was on the hook shaft one. So that is out, that screw is out. And I'll take these needle nose pliers and I'll just tap the end of the hook. Well, I'm finally here and I know I can get it off. And I just had it off. But it was a little bit of work, but you saw some of the stuff we went through. So anyway, here we are taking the mesh apart, and let me see, there we are. So now the device is released. I can remove it from the machine. So let's go up top and take a look at that. So here we are up here, and they are loose. Let me move that needle bar out of the way, and let's see. How are we doing with... Okay, so there the positioning bracket has come loose. I've pivoted it off of the case, the hook, and now it's messy, but it's free. So we'll put it over, well, we'll put it over there. And now there it is. It's out. let me move this sewing machine out of the way. There you go, there's our hook and positioning pin. That's removed, and we had already removed the bobbin case and the cushioning spring. So that's kind of what we worked on today in this movie. But for now, you know what? I'm gonna end this movie right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly did. Come on back again real soon. The next video is gonna be about making sure all this is cleaned up and reassembled. So take care of yourself, stay safe, have fun, and thanks for stopping by. Please do subscribe. Adios, amigos.